What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Home Built Workshop. Today, just an impromptu talking video. We're just going to chat a little bit about things that are going on, so stick around. Well, first off, I want to say I hope you guys are all doing well in spite of the current circumstances. As you all know, right now we are in the midst of this whole virus thing. What a strange time we're in right now. Isn't this really the weirdest thing you've ever seen? I know I have never experienced anything like it, and really I think most of us are in the same boat. We've never had to deal with anything like this. It's just such a weird situation. There is nothing in my life that I can relate this to. I mean, I've seen bad storms where certain areas are shut down, but it's all really just localized. I've never seen anything as widespread as that. And really nothing I'm saying here is new. All of us are experiencing the same thing. And the craziest part is it's not just the US. This is all around the world. People are experiencing closings and shutdowns and stay-home orders, and it's just really, it's bizarre. I don't know. So I just wanted to make this video just to express some thoughts and some of my opinions on some of the things that are going on, some things that we can take away from this. This topic has come up several times the last few weeks in my live streams. Before I jump right into a couple of things, I just want to say we're going to be okay. I know we're going to be okay. Yes, it's a very inconvenient time. It's a very strange time. It's a very uncertain time, but it's going to pass. Yes, we are all experiencing some sort of changes to our daily routines, some sort of pain and discomfort, maybe not physically, but just in our daily lives, trying to keep daily life moving, but still having to put up with these closures and shutdowns and stay-home orders. There are many inconveniences that we're going to have to put up with, but on the other side of this, we're going to be okay. I know we are. So if you are feeling anxious and concerned about that, just know I really truly believe that when this is all said and done, we're going to be okay. So just take a deep breath and try to let that sink in. I know we're going to be okay. Yes, it's a very uncertain time. I also am experiencing different things that I need to change in my daily routine. Right now, all the schools are closed, so I'm doing homeschooling here with my daughter Haley. We are working through things together, and it's really limiting what I used to do for my day-to-day routine. But we just have to figure out how to adjust, and we have to be flexible and to be able to adapt to these changing circumstances. Yes, it's tough. It really is. I'm going through everything that you guys are going through, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna get through these. You just have to be open to trying new things, trying new routines. As hard as it may sound, it's gonna work out. We just do what we need to do and keep on trucking. So one of the main questions that I've been asked is, what can we as makers, craftspeople, what can we do for projects while we can't go out and get supplies like we normally would? What are some ideas? Do you have any ideas as to some things that we can do? So the first few things that come to mind really just sound really simple. And those would be things like, take the time to clean up your shop. Now that we don't have a whole lot of projects going on, maybe now's the time to rearrange. Maybe now's the time to sort out your materials, find out what you have. Just take an inventory of things that you have. It might give you some more ideas as to what you have to work with. Therefore, you know kind of the route you need to take for future projects, at least until we're all able to get some more materials. So once you have an idea of the materials that you have on hand and available, that's going to give you an idea of the direction you need to take with projects. If all you have maybe is a small pile of offcuts and scraps, well, you can do a lot of things with small projects. Maybe make some toys for the kids if you have kids, or maybe you can glue a bunch of them together and make some sort of crazy contraption. I don't know. You know, we can do a lot with wood glue and small scraps to make larger pieces. Yes, it may not be ideal, but these situations aren't really ideal either, and we just adapt and move on. While you're going through your materials, now's a good time to look around your shop and see what sort of shop organization projects. If you have materials on hand, maybe you need a clamp rack, maybe you need to build some sort of drill bit organization or something like that. There's a lot of things that can be made for the shop, and now might just be a time to make that thing that you've been putting off for a little while. Another thing this time would be good for is to design future upcoming projects. Maybe you don't have the materials on hand right now, but now would be a time to jump in and draw up some plans. You could have the entire plan and cut lists completed so that when we are all able to get materials, it's going to take you no time to jump right in and start knocking out some projects. Now would also be an awesome time to sit down and learn that piece of software that you've been putting off. Maybe you've wanted to learn SketchUp, maybe you've wanted to learn Fusion, some sort of modeling software that has a bit of a learning curve. Now would be the time to take this time and just spend learning that. Yes, you may spend hours at the computer going through software, but if you don't have materials on hand and you're looking for ways that you can still learn and grow, this would be a great time to spend just learning some software, learning how to model things. Maybe you want to get into 3D printing. Now's the time to learn Fusion or whatever 3D modeling software. And of course, there's always those projects that we all have that we've been putting off that maybe we started months ago. Now would be the time to pull those back out and wrap them up. I know me personally, I have finished up a few things that I've needed to do around here, just getting some things fixed and repaired. And that brings me to another point, home repairs. How many little things around the house have we put off for months and months and months, maybe even years, just kind of dealing with some little quirk? Now's the time to jump in and fix that. I know I've also been doing some of that as well throughout the homeschooling thing. I have little portions of the day where I can get some free time. I've just been fixing stuff and tinkering on old projects and planning future projects, but it is kind of nice to be able to get caught up on some of those repairs that you just been meaning to do, but we haven't got to. Another idea that I have is don't be afraid to try another craft. Have you always wanted to try leatherworking? Maybe you've always wanted to take up sewing. Right now there are a lot of people sewing masks and that sort of thing, and they don't look all that difficult. If you've always wanted to get into sewing, now might just be the time to jump in and see what you can do. Just don't feel like you're stuck. Maybe you're typically a woodworker, but you just don't have materials on hand. Don't be afraid to branch out, learn a new skill, learn a new craft, a trade, something like that. Now it would be a great time. A lot of online retailers are still open and have maybe limited shipping, but at least they're shipping stuff, so you're still able at this time to go on, order some supplies and things like that. So if you wanted to try something new, go on and order some leather, order some sewing stuff or whatever it is. Don't be afraid to branch out. I think really the bottom line here though is just to get creative. Look at what you have available. I don't care if it's a cereal box. You can mock up patterns for a leather project, something like that. Look at what you have available and see what you can do with that. Now is an awesome time to work with your kids if you have kids and teach them new things as well. Teach them how to make things. Go through your recycle bin, see what you can make out of cans and bottles and jars, whatever you have, cereal boxes. I really like cereal boxes. They're so great for mocking up patterns and that sort of thing. Just get creative, look around, see what you have available. Now is an amazing time to get your kids involved, teach them some things, get creative with them, see what they can come up with, and maybe you can build on that and just have some fun. There are a lot of things that I believe we're going to be able to take away, one of them being to teach ourselves to be more resourceful, which actually, that brings me to the next thing I want to touch on. There is one thing that I hope all of us take away from this situation, myself included, and that is that we all need to learn to be a little bit more self-reliant. Back in the day, people were almost completely self-reliant. They grew their own food, they raised their own meat, they had chickens and cows and all that sort of thing, gardens. A lot of us don't have that luxury now, but I feel that there are a lot of things that we can take out of that. If you have family members that have lived through the Great Depression era, I'm sure you have heard stories of how things were back then. Times were tough and people used what they had. They reused things for new things. There was a lot of reusing and recycling, although I don't believe it was called recycling back then, but that's just what they did. And I feel like all of us need to do a little bit more to be more self-sustaining, to help us out in times like these. Now, I really hope that none of us have to deal with anything like this again, but we can't predict the future. Who knows what's going to happen? But what we can do is look for ways in our daily life and in our home, our surroundings, what we can do to be a little bit more self-sustaining. Now, some things that I can think of that would help us all out: plant some vegetables. If you can get some seeds or some plants or something like that and you have a little space, grow a garden. Now's a great time. Also, if you're looking for project ideas, a garden is a great project. Not only will it provide food for you and your family, but you could also share with your neighbors and also gain that gardening experience. It never hurts to be able to grow some plants. Maybe you don't have room for a garden, but maybe you can put a couple of vegetable plants in a pot on your patio. Whatever space you have, I'm sure you can find something that will grow in the space that you have. Even if it's just a small little herb garden, something like that, try to grow something. I really think that we could all benefit from that. Think of right now when you go to the stores and the shelves are pretty bare and pickings can be kind of slim, but if you had a couple of tomato plants, man, how cool would that be? You could just pick your own tomatoes, make some spaghetti sauce or whatever it is. I just think that we could all benefit if we all did a little bit of our own gardening, growing some of our own stuff. Another thing I would say is look at your own personal situation. What has been an inconvenience for you? What did you run out of first, if you ran out of something? Maybe moving forward, you try to keep an extra of something on hand. Now, I'm not saying go out and hoard the shelves right now. Now is not the time. But I'm talking on the other side of that. Maybe you ran out of flour. But maybe next time you can keep an extra pack of flour. A lot of us live the day-to-day and get things on demand as we need them. Maybe we need to look a little bit farther ahead than that. Maybe we, instead of day-to-day, we look 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Everybody's situation is different, but whatever you feel comfortable with you and your family, maybe try to plan, keep more staples and things on hand. I know myself, I have been looking at that as well. Again, now is not the time to go out and stock up on stuff. Just the stores are, at least in my area, the stores are empty. The pickings are slim. If you need to buy a big quantity of something, now is really not the time. And please don't go out and clear the shelves trying to stock up. But on the other side, let's try to be a little more prepared. Now, this may take some time. You know, not everybody can go and buy a month's worth of supplies, but over time, as you buy an extra here, an extra there, you can build up some stores. And I'm not saying let's all become preppers. I'm not saying let's have a year of everything. If that's your thing, totally cool. But at least try to plan a little bit farther ahead. I think in the long run, that can really benefit all of us. And lastly, before we wrap this up, I just want to say, have some fun. I know it's a stressful and very uncertain time, but try to get outside if you can. Try to play with your kids, learn some games, have some fun, listen to some music, play some music. That's another one too. Just thought about that. I almost forgot. If you have not been playing an instrument that you maybe used to play, now's a great time to break it out. Maybe you haven't played guitar in a long time. Grab that sucker, dust it off, play it. Me, I've been even playing piano. I haven't played piano in years, but every day I've been trying to spend some time going back and relearning a lot of stuff, and it's actually really fun. Play some music if you play an instrument. If you don't play an instrument and you've always wanted to, yeah, you got the time, right? But really, just try to enjoy yourself the best you can. I know it's discouraging sometimes, but turn off the news. Put on some music, just have some fun, relax a little bit. And I want to say one more time before I wrap this up that really, guys, we're going to be okay. I understand it's stressful, it's uncertain, but we got this, right? The whole entire world, we're going to be okay. Yes, there's going to be pain and some discomfort with different things, but we can do this. Lastly, I would say take care of each other. That's what we have to do. We've got to be kind to each other, take care of each other, look out for each other, have each other's back. If you're going to the store for some essentials, reach out to your neighbor, your friends, family, whoever you can, and see if maybe they need something. Maybe you can grab them something at the store that they're running out of. But look out for each other, try to take care of each other. We got this, guys. We really do. I hope you guys are all doing well. I wish you all good health, and keep your spirits up, guys. Don't let this get you down. It's just a passing phase, and it will pass. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this, me just chatting along, but leave some comments, suggestions, any of that sort of thing down below in the comments, guys. Thanks. I wish you all the best. Thanks a lot for watching.